The adventure is the bread and butter of Dungeons and Dragons and other tabletop RPGs. It's the story, it's the heroics, the theatrics, the jokes, and it's the way your players get loot and experience points. What's up, everyone? It's Talon, and in today's episode of DMing 101, we're getting into the basics of the nitty-gritty of building your very first adventure. As a quick reminder, I stream over on Mixer, and I'm doing so until January 1st, 2020, where I'm going to have my final decision on Twitch or Mixer. I'll post a video to that, actually, when that time comes. So why not stop by to the stream, ask me any questions you may have, listen down in the comments below, and just watch me be bad at games. Now, on to why you're here. I first want to establish the difference between a story and an adventure. The story is the narrative and the plot that occurs within the game between your player characters, PCs, non-player characters, NPCs, and the world. Meanwhile, on this hand, we have the adventure, which the adventure is a set of events and locations where the PCs are met with different types of challenges. Now, that's out of the way, let's get dirty. You're going to find that the basis of an adventure will follow the 3-act structure. Much like other forms of media, the 3-act structure is a simple structure that breaks down a plot and story into their 3 distinct acts: the setup, confrontation, and the resolution. Each of those parts of the act, each of those acts have a key point within them that helps set the stage, close it out. Stage, close it out. Set the fuck. You have your inciting incident to go with your setup. An example of an inciting incident is someone in a town is murdered and you learn it's a cult. There's a call to action. There's your inciting incident. There's your call to adventure. Confrontation has your midpoint. This could be you journeying into the cult's lair and clearing out the dungeon. And then your climax, the resolution is going to have your climax, which you clear out the cult's lair and end with an epic battle between you and the cult leader. Boom! Your adventure's done. Awesome. Bye. Or is it? An adventure would be boring with just those 3 points. So we create sub-points to give some more oomph and flavor and really flesh out the adventure. So let's continue this example of the cult. Let's say that the PCs have investigated the body, but now another was found, murdered in the same ritualistic manner. This one, however, actually is a culprit who was found leaving the scene, so your players track him down and discover that it's the member of a town guard, that it's a member of the town guard. That person is able to tell the PCs where the cult's hideout is. The challenge in this is making sure to give them just enough information to keep them on their toes, ensuring that you, the dungeon master, always have the element of surprise. This is something that many veteran DMs still struggle with, as it takes years of practice. I'll include a link to a video by Matt Colville that helped me a lot when figuring out how to manage information properly, when to dish it out, when to keep it back. And finally, at the end of the adventure, you should always add some kind of nugget plot piece that could be followed on later. For example, the PCs kill the cult leader, but in his dying breath, he speaks of the rising of an ancient deity. It could be worth investigating. So let's go ahead and recap all this. First, you start with the overall adventure using the 3-act structure. Establish your inciting incident, your midpoint, and then your climax. After that, give some depth to the adventure. Add some extra plot points to help guide your PCs in the direction you want them to go. But at the same time, make them think that they're still in charge. That's important. And finally, third and finally, leave some breadcrumbs at the climax that you can use later on to link to another adventure and continue the plot in the story. Now, overall, This is the simplest way to make adventures. It is the simplest of adventures, and that is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a great first adventure in a campaign, or just it's a great structure. Why that is why it has succeeded in media for literally generations, decades. This 3-act structure, plays, movies, TV shows, it has succeeded for a reason, so please use it. As time goes on, though, and as you play more, you're going to want to do bigger and longer adventures. My tip for those is using the 3-act structure, but doing so multiple times and mixing and matching them. Like, for example, I have no example. Who knows? You could start out with an awesome conflict, like a climax taking place of the inciting incident, and so on and so forth. I'll go deeper into that massive rabbit hole of a conversation and a topic with another video, but not this one. This one's just the basics. This is the whole intro into DMing 101. It is going to be the basic bare bones. Thanks for watching, everyone. That's all the time I have for this episode. I'm going to continue getting into the nitty-gritty of building everything you need before I start talking about actually being behind this DM screen. There's a lot I want to cover, so be sure you stick around. I'll see you next time, Dojo Masters.